Today I just wanted to talk about, where I am in life right now, because obviously, uh, things don't look the same as things looked at the beginning of the year. Um, at the beginning of the year, I, uh, I was going through a very tough time with my job, and I reached a breaking point that made me just quit my job because I was just dealing with so much stress, so much anxiety, with all the toxicity at the workplace, the racism, and I just reached a breaking point and I was like, fuck this. I just quit without notice, and then I was kind of in limbo for like 2 weeks. I was just watching a bunch of like life sucks videos and very like anti-natalism, nihilism, and doomer, and I was really getting deep into that stuff because I was just like really like I was really like done with everything, and you know, I had so much like built-in frustration inside me, and I needed to let it out in some way, and I couldn't stand just like writing, you know, typing and just making a post about it or something, and then I wanted to really like express myself and for I wanted people to see me express myself and feel my emotion, and just because I never got that. I would oftentimes I would explain part of this awareness and my issues and stuff, and I was always getting dismissed, never feeling understood, never feeling seen, and it's not that I wanted I wanted validation or I wanted recognition, but it's just because after the number of times like things don't work out, that when you try to explain things to people and people don't get it, you kind of just develop this mindset of just like, well, I'm not going to depend on people anymore. I'm just going to stay like keep these thoughts to myself and do my own thing. And yeah, and if I do talk about it, I'm not expecting anything in return. It's just like I talk about it, you don't agree, or you disagree, you dismiss me. Well, okay, who cares? I'm not going to cry about it, you know whatever. They believe what they want to believe, I believe what I believe. And but at the same time, it gives you this very isolating feeling, when you get told that, oh, you're too depressed, you should get help, go see a psychologist, uh, things like that, go seek therapy, and stuff like that. And it's just like, no, this is like, I know deep down that that is not what is going to help me. What I know deep down, that I knew that I had to express myself in a way, and and like communicate with people that feel something similar, at least in some capacity. And so I was like, okay, man, let me just make this video, and in that first video, it was called "I was not made for this. I'm not made for this life." And that was the first time I just let everything out, and it felt really good. It felt really good, and my channel was pretty small back then, and of course, obviously, but it still felt freeing. It still felt like a breath of fresh air that I can finally let everything out. I don't have to reduce, I don't have to adjust myself, I don't have to minimize my thoughts. It was just all out there, and I don't even swear that much with like other people. I only swear when I'm like in my own thoughts and in my own frustrations. So whatever you guys see on the camera, that's me. That's me, like completely unfiltered, no mask whatsoever. That's like the real me that you're seeing right now, and that's the real me that you saw in my first few videos. It's the real me. This whole channel is the real me. Completely unfiltered, no mask whatsoever. And then, like leading up to, the creation of my channel, I was watching channels like Tragic Reality, Born into a Corrupt System, and yeah, those were the two main ones that really like inspired me to start this channel, because for the first time I saw people talking about the system, and not just, oh, life sucks, everything sucks, I'm lonely, I don't have any friends, wah, 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 all that stuff. you know. And a lot of content on YouTube is those types of things. Oh, I'm 35 and I'm single, I'm lonely, I have no job, and things like that. I don't have kids, and okay, this is the type of content you see all the time on YouTube. But I just cannot resonate with videos like that. You know, I resonate like for the first time with Tragic Reality and Born into a Corrupt System. I was like, oh, finally, you know, people talking about the system, and not only talking about the system, but you know, they were able to kind of just laugh about it. You know, the same way I would often laugh about it myself sometimes, and that was like a relief to find out about, and that there were other people like this out there. So that's why it gave me the inspiration to create this channel. And because of my first few videos, because I was in a very dark place and I was not feeling well at all. I was really like thinking about really dark shit, dark thoughts. Because of that, I feel like a lot of the people that got onto my channel that seem to assume that that is who I am all the time. You know, that's going to be me for forever. And it feels like the moment I shifted towards like laughing and smiling and maybe talking a bit about giving a bit of hope here and there, I almost feel like for some people it felt like a betrayal, because people want me to stay in a dark place. Some viewers out there actually want me to stay depressed, stay in existential despair all the time, and they expect my content to be like this all the time. You know, I remember there, you know, in my Q&A, my first Q&A that I made after I hit 10,000 subscribers, I remember this comment from this viewer, and he said something like, "Oh, I was a big fan of you, but after seeing this video, I see who you truly are now, and I don't like it. I don't support it anymore," or something like that. And I was like, and this person didn't even explain why exactly, but I have a feeling why. And I think this is exactly what I'm talking about here. I just feel like this person probably expected me to be in existential despair consistently, you know, and the moment I show any bit of laughing, smiling, joking around, little glimpses of hope here and there, the moment I show any glimpses of that, it feels like a betrayal to some people. And this brings me to my next point, that, you know, I made a video back in end of March called "I'm Tired of Existing," and that video has like 102K views right now, which is absolutely insane. I didn't expect it. But it also made me realize something. You know, it feels like, I don't know if it's a mixture of algorithm or just people just loving to see me in a dark place. And I really was in a dark place. I really was. That happened like shortly after my car crash, and I was just like so fucking done with everything. And it was just like, you know, the experience at the job, and then the car crash on top of it, and then, you know, multiple things, you know, the awareness at the same time, like the awakening that was really overwhelming, especially at the time in the beginning of the year. So of course that "I'm Tired of Existing" video was really like, it was real. Like I was really in that place. I did not just do it for views. And, you know, and it's interesting because, like I said, people expect me to be in that "I'm tired of existing" phase all the time, and I can't. No, that's not how awareness works. You know, at least in my case, you know, that's not who I am really. And I realized that in videos like that, and most recently with my "I'm Done with Everything" video, which has a very similar like vibe, similar title as well, and I was genuinely feeling like that. What was it, 2 weeks ago? Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I was genuinely feeling like I was done with everything, and it was real, and it ended up getting like the most views I had in like so long. And, you know, one thing I noticed is that what people want? Is that what people want from me only? They just want to see me in despair. That's why they watch this stuff. And, you know, but I'm going to be honest with myself. I can't sustain that, you know, life sucks, everything sucks all the time. Like, I'm obviously going to feel that way here and there, because this is what happens with this awareness. And sometimes things get overwhelming, and it just happens, but it's not, for me personally, it's not something consistent, because awareness is not just despair all the time, everything sucks. Awareness can be insight. Awareness can be about giving information about the system, how, sorry, giving information about things like with the system and society, how the way things work. I can be going to the supermarket, going on a drive, and I can just notice something that just feels wrong to me. Or, I'm in a crowd full of people and I will look at people's behavior and I just notice things, and it makes me think about something. I could be cooking dinner, and I'm just thinking about something. This is what awareness really is like. This is what happens when you live with an inner world that's so like loud, because we just constantly think about things. And this is mainly what this channel is really about now. It's just to express those inner thoughts, those thoughts that I have in like my daily life, and sometimes I have these thoughts, like I said, I'm just cooking food or just trying to find something to eat, and then something sparks in me about the money making machine, or how we have so much frozen food comes from the way the system works, and with productivity and everything. And okay, that's another that's another topic for another video. But what I'm trying to say is that like when you have this awareness, you just think about things constantly. And most of my content is about those thoughts. My content is not just everything sucks all the time. And I'm just not in that place right now. I'm not in that place where, it's about, life sucks, everything sucks, we should not have children. And speaking of we should not have children, at the beginning of the year, or even just last year, last fall, I was already thinking about some of these thoughts already. And this was very early on in the awakening. So I was going online and seeing things, and I heard about this term called anti-natalism, and I was like, I guess that's who I am now, because I wouldn't put, I wouldn't bring a child into a world like this, so I guess I am natalist. But then I started getting comments like, "Oh, you're not a real antinatalist, because you're saying you would still have children if you're rich, or if you say you would still have children if we lived in a better world, or we had a better system, things like that." And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna ditch the labels. I am not anti-natalist anymore. Like not only that, but I just do not want to associate myself with any label or any ideology or whatever. It's just I don't want that associated with me, because people would just use it against you because you're not following the exact rules of antinatalism. You're not exactly this and that. And it's just like, why at this point? And a lot of the times with these labels, especially early on, and I was finding out about these things for the first time, and about these new words called doomer and things like that. And I was like, I guess I'm this, I guess I'm that, I guess I'm this. And you feel like when you're very early on into this awakening, you kind of feel like you want to belong. You kind of want to belong into a group, to a label, a name, an ideology. And it was a natural thing for me to do, to just say, hey, I guess I'm a doomer, I guess I'm an antinatalist. And I was just saying all these things. But over time I realized that I cannot deal with the labels, I cannot deal with the ideologies. I do not want to associate myself with any of that stuff. And what bothers me the most is that people come onto my channel and assume that I'm black pill, incel, whatever the crap. Like, I never even knew what those words meant until people have commented it. Like, I mean, I'm genuinely serious, because I don't spend that much time on the internet regarding content like that. So when I knew about these terms, found out about these terms, I was like, huh? These people actually think that I'm like that I'm like hating on women and shit like that, and talking and focusing about my looks and things like that. Like, no, I'm not that at all. So it kind of like, I don't know, I was really bothered by the fact that people, tried to label me as those things when I'm clearly not. They just wanted to project their own view onto me and call it a day. But so so if you're like black pill or or anything, this channel is not for you. I would just say it right here, right now. This channel is not for you if you think that I'm that way. And oh my god! And I remember a comment. A comment even said something like, "You cannot hide what you are," and stuff like regarding me being a black pill. You cannot hide what you are. Like, it's like this person wanted me to be that in a way when I'm really not. So it's honestly fucking insane when you think about it. And I don't know if you guys ever like, you guys ever pay attention to like the personality types, MBTI, whatever. But I am, and some of you probably don't really give a shit about this, but I'm an INFP and sometimes leaning INFJ. So, I always knew that I had like a dreamer side, an idealistic side to myself. And I definitely know now how much, like, complying to the system, doing interviews at jobs, going through jobs and working a 9 to 5 and all of this stuff and commuting to work and doing the same routine as everybody else kind of made me lose that side of myself. Because before, when I was still in school, I was still kind of like, I still had my dreamer side. I still like had things that I wanted to do, and I still wanted to travel the world. I still wanted to make films, and then once I started working all the time, I just didn't really care about it anymore. I really just put all of that aside. I remember being so artistic as well before. Before going through all these jobs and stuff, and again, like a lot of those things got buried deep down, and and having stepped away from a job really did allow me to reconnect with that part of myself, with those parts of myself. And it's been great because I get to provide awareness from a different perspective. It's not just everything sucks, everything is like you know what I mean, like life sucks, and like and things like that. And yes, I will still say things like, because I'm starting to realize more and more now that it's not that life technically sucks, because I realize now how much there is actually a lot of beauty in this world. There's actually so much to life that we can actually enjoy and appreciate. And this is what this awareness has made me realize, and this is what stepping away from a job has made me realize a lot more now. And and so now my philosophy is more like, everything that I complain about is a systemic issue. It is not, for some other people, they'll think that existence is a flaw and they don't want it, and that's, I totally respect their opinions, their worldview, but my worldview is that, life could be so much better than this if we had a better system, or if we had no system at all, because a lot of the struggles that we go through are very artificial, and it makes everything feel so absurd. Already the fact that, our survival is based off how many digital numbers we have in our bank account and things like that. So, and or little things like how our entire lives depend on if a boss accepts us or not, or if he hires us, and then they have like 300 applicants, and things like that, and these are all the things that we go through that I find so fucking absurd, and that I'm asking myself, why do we even go through this shit? Like, why? I mean, like, there could be a different way of life. We could actually be in a better place, but no, we we let shit like this happen. So my philosophy now is more like, life can be beautiful. Life is beautiful. There is so much to appreciate, but it's really the system that prevents us from appreciating this life to the fullest. You know, the system weighs us down. The system prevents us with, obstacles and rules and, things that you have to do, digital numbers. They do prevent us, but my idealistic side has allowed me, my dreamer side has allowed me to kind of just, imagine a world where things were different, and that's what kind of, that is one of the things that does keep me going in life. That imagination of seeing things, the possibility of something different, and yeah, just the possibility that is what it's little glimpses of hope like that that do keep me going, and just things like that. But and I know for a fact that we won't be able to. I don't know if we'll ever be able to change the system entirely. I don't know if in our lifetime. But with this channel, I'm hoping it does inspire change in some capacity, in some way. It gives people awareness to certain things about this world, because my mind is just constantly thinking about so many things, and the more I think about these things, the more I'll express it, the more people are going to wake up or something. I don't know. But I also know that, as long as we live, we can't, like, at least I can't, because I don't really see myself living off grid or anything. Like, it just doesn't feel like for me. But at the same time, like, we all have to depend on the system in some capacity. We won't be able to escape 100%, but we can still find ways to navigate the system in some way, and I try to keep imagining that possibility of that life can be different, and also at the same time reconnecting with my inner child and keeping that intact, which I have made a video on it last week. But just little things like that, and again, I'm not saying that the world is all sunshine and rainbows suddenly. I'm not saying that I'm optimistic. I'm not saying that I'm completely hopeful right now, and things like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm still going to call out the bullshit. I'm still going to see things the way they are, because that's the reality. That's the reality that I see right now. I won't deny it. I won't lie about it. I won't suppress these thoughts. Like, if I see something wrong, I'll fucking think about it and I'll say it to you guys. That is what keeps this channel real. It's what keeps me being real and authentic. But I'm still going to have that little side of myself that's just going to see the little possibilities of something different, that life can be better than this, and appreciating beautiful things, beautiful places, and nature itself. Like, nature is actually one of the things that does keep me going as well, and little things like my passions. I know like I said, some of my passions do require digital numbers, so that's why I brought up the topic of I can't escape the system 100%, but that's why I say, like, finding ways to navigate through the system, and while still calling out that it sucks, while still calling out that everything about the system and society is just bullshit, and there's almost so much fakeness and all that stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video to explain where I am in life right now. The contrast of where I was at the beginning of the year and where I am now. I know and I'm not gonna be like these people with a new year, new me bullshit. No, that's not what I'm saying. And I know we're not even at the end of the year yet, but we're kind of almost there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.